Coach Mofield Show is brought to you by the Kentucky Land Company of Irvington. If you're looking for a little slice of heaven to plant your flag and call your own, give them a call at 547-4222 or check out their webpage at ky-land.com. Hello, Green Wave Nation, and welcome back to another week of Senior Spotlights. This week we start off with Mr. Cade Scott. Welcome to the show, Cade.
How you doing? I'm doing good.
Good. I guess we'll kind of start off, kind of talk about how long you've been playing football, like when you got started, and what your role is this year on the team.
Yes, sir. For as long as I can remember, I've always been on the football field. As my dad was the coach, he's coached in many places, but he's been defensive coach for a long time now here at Meade County. And much like Braden, I've been around the program and football basically all my life since I can remember. And sophomore year or freshman year, I didn't play any varsity, but sophomore year I played some outside linebacker. And then junior year, I decided I was going to take on the role as quarterback. So I started going to camps. I started going private lessons and stuff, and I got a whole lot better that summer. So junior year, I took on the role of quarterback. Obviously, I got hurt, injured, and that was pretty rough. But senior year, this year, I'm quarterback again as well.
Nice. We'll kind of step away from football just for a minute.
Sure.
If we jump in a vehicle and we're going to go down the road, if you can turn anything on the radio, what are you turning on?
I mean, really, I'll turn on anything, but like it ranges from like Creed to Lil Baby, like some rap, and then maybe some R&B, like 2000s R&B. I'll listen to anything.
So as long as it's good.
As long as it's good, I don't care really.
Now, we've been riding around. We're getting hungry. You get to pick anywhere we go eat. What are we going to eat?
Well, if we're in Brandenburg, we're probably going to Taco Bell. But if we're in E-Town, probably Qdoba or some Chick-fil-A.
Nice. What's your go-to at Qdoba?
Usually double chicken, white rice, black beans, fajita vegetables, queso, some more cheese, and then a scoop of guac.
Nice.
Usually.
Now, I asked you this off air, so I'm going to ask you again because this is a little different this week. Back when I was in high school, your mom and somebody else, I'd pick them up and we'd all ride to school together. And I asked you if your grandma still made those cinnamon rolls homemade.
Oh, yeah, she still makes them, and they're still just as good.
I've eaten every kind of cinnamon roll in the world, but your grandma has something special with those cinnamon rolls.
Oh, she does. She can, like you said, throw it down in the kitchen.
Yeah. But, football obviously eats up a lot of time with practicing and even in the off season and with school too. But when you get a chance to have some free time, what are you going to do if you can just have some free time and not have any of that on your mind?
Well, usually, I mean, if I have a free time like a Saturday or something, I'm usually watching some football. But as far as if I get away from football, I'm usually like hanging out with friends, hanging out with family, just doing, I don't know, going to movies, kind of just normal stuff. Not really. I don't like to party a whole lot.
Who's your favorite team?
In the NFL, college. Well, I've always been a Louisville fan, but they've lost some tough games this year. Still got to claim them, though.
So you're old Card fan, huh?
Yes, sir.
I guess I won't hold that against you. This week we've kind of got a unique situation with you, and then the next one we're doing with Braden as well. Usually at this point I ask whichever senior, what it's meant to be a part of the Meade County football program. I'm going to ask you that, but I'm going to add in what's it meant to you to be a part of the program, and what's it like having one of your parents on the coaching staff as well?
Well, we're kind of a small town, so it's really like when you go out to the grocery store or even walking through the hallways, they're like, "Oh, you're Meade County's quarterback, right?" And I feel like that experience a lot of people don't get in high school sports, and I honestly cherish that. And to play for the community, to play with my friends that I've grown up all my life with, and to play for my dad, who's my coach. It's really special that I get to do that. Not a lot of people get to do that.
Yeah, unless you have a bad day, then maybe it follows you home.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe a bad game. I'll have some naysayers here or there, but I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Really. You're gonna have people that talk down on you in all stages of life, no matter what you do. So.
And then you got Dad to go home with, so that's
Now he's as far as quarterback goes, he's pretty chill. He's pretty calm, but defense, man, he can get pretty fired up.
But you've been through the whole program. You know, you've been playing this game for a long time. You've played it at all levels. And like you talked about at the beginning, you were even around this game before you were old enough to play with your dad as a coach. So you've seen it all, probably heard it all from both his experience and yours. So if we had like a third, fourth grader come walking up to us right now and they're trying to decide whether they want to play football or not for Meade County, what would your advice be?
My advice would be, yes, definitely. I mean, there's some practices, obviously. There's some days where you do not want to wake up at 6 a.m. You do not want to do an extra set of bench. But, I mean, as far as the long run, you're going to look back 10 years, 20 years from now and be like, dang, I really enjoyed those years. And that's what a bunch of people have told me. So I really try to think about that. And while you're in the moment, it's a whole lot of fun. And they say if we get a big win last week, the next day, I mean, it's awesome. I mean, there's just nothing like football. I feel like the brotherhood, the bond with your teammates, your friends. I would encourage every like you said, fourth grader to at least try football. You know, if it's not your thing, it's not your thing. But
yeah, and that's what I've always said is it's a family.
Yeah,
you know,
it really is.
When you go through that kind of the tough summer practices.
Tough summer. Yeah, it's.
Well, we're about wrapping up here, but before we do, you know, senior year will fly by. It's already flying by, I'm sure. It won't be long. It'll be next spring, and it'll be time to go back down on Hamilton Field and walk as a senior graduate. What's life after high school looking like for you right now? Like, what's your next you're playing for your next move?
Well, after I graduate, I'm definitely going to play college football. Now, I don't know if I'm going to go straight to college or not, but me and my dad and a bunch of recruiters, my QB coach down in Nashville, have discussed some things like prep school, because I missed out on most of my junior season with film and recruiting and talking to college coaches. So we've talked about going to a prep school.
Okay.
After my senior year, but there's also other options like EKU and Marshall, and so we'll see.
Nice.
I'm still in the decision
figuring it out
process. Yes, sir.
Do you got something that you're looking for as far as like degree or?
Yes, sir. Like a business, I think I'm not for sure yet, but like a business degree, or I've even mentioned and shadowed a little bit of like a nursing medical degree. I thought about being a nurse anesthetist. I think that pathway, that career is very interesting.
Yeah, nice. Well, Cade, we wish you the best of luck this Friday and in all you do, and we appreciate you stopping by the show today.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and we will be right back after this. Hello, Green Wave Nation, and welcome back for another episode of Senior Spotlight. And we are honored today to have Mr. Braden Mofield with us. Welcome to the show, Braden. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Good. I guess we'll start off, kind of talk about when you got into football and that journey and what your role is this year on the team.
So I've been playing football basically my whole life. Obviously, my dad's been the coach since I've been alive, and it's been special to me, and I've been playing basically my whole life. So I don't know anything else besides football. I mean, this season I play both ways like I did last season. I play wide out and safety, and I mean, it's been a fun season.
Nice. It's been fun to watch. We're going to step away from football for a minute. We go hop in a vehicle, we're riding down the road, You can turn anything you want on the radio. What are we listening to?
Just like Cade said, I mean, I listen to all kinds of music. I'm always listening to something new. I'm a huge Luke Combs fan.
Nice.
Jimmy Buffett, Toby Keith, love those guys.
Yeah, as long as it's good.
As long as it's good.
I can agree with that. We've been riding around for a little bit. We're getting hungry. What are we getting to eat?
So locally, I would have to say McDonald's, but I mean, if it's any place else, I'd say Chick-fil-A. I'm a huge Chick-fil-A fan.
Chick-fil-A?
Oh, yeah.
You going with the sandwich, the nuggets?
I'm the sandwich guy.
Yeah.
I'm a big sandwich guy.
I'm with you. What about the lemonade?
I had it a couple weeks ago. I wasn't a huge
You don't
fan
like
of
the
it.
lemonade?
No, it had like the pulp in it. I'm not a huge pulp guy.
Oh, see, I like the pulp.
Yeah.
But I can appreciate
Yeah.
that if you don't like pulp.
Yeah.
Football, it keeps you busy.
Absolutely.
The off season, I mean, it's almost year round. Weightlifting off season, then school too. So it keeps you busy. But when you get a moment to have some free time, relax, do whatever you want. What are you going to be doing for fun?
I'd have to say mainly golf. I love playing golf on the weekends, anytime I can. It's always fun to get out and play. I'm not too good at it, but it's fun. I also love to fish. Also, those two activities I feel most at peace at. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Any certain type of fish you fish?
Bass fishing, typically. Yes.
You want to
yes.
go for them big
bass.
large
Yeah.
mouth?
Yeah.
Do you ever play golf with your dad?
Oh yeah, we play all the time.
Can you beat him?
Absolutely.
Oh, nice. He might make us edit that out.
He used to get me, but lately I've been catching up on him. So.
Oh, that's funny. But coming back to football, I asked Cade the same thing. Usually, at this point, I ask the seniors, what it's meant to be a part of the Greenway football program. With you two, where you all were a part of it, even before you were a part of it, with both your dads coaching, what's it been like? What's it meant to you to be a part of the program, and then also what's it like having your dad as the coach?
I mean, it's been special playing. I've met some amazing people playing this game. It's like a family, like you just said. I mean, and playing this community, watching us. I mean, it's special. I feel like most big schools, it's not like this, but a small town like this, it's special. And have my dad as my coach. I mean, it's awesome. I mean, he tells people all the time we don't talk about it at home, and we don't. We usually typically leave it at the field. And honestly, on the field, he doesn't coach me a lot because he's with the offensive line typically, so I don't have him most of the time on the field coaching me up. So it's a good balance.
Well, that's good. Where you've been a part of this from probably as long as you can remember, and you've had older brothers play. Your dad's been coaching since I played.
Oh yeah.
I had him as coach years ago as running back coach, but. Seeing it from that side and also seeing it from a player that's now worked his way through the whole system and up to your senior year, if we had a third, fourth grader come in here and they're going back and forth on whether they want to play football, what would your advice be to them?
My advice would be definitely to play. I mean, it's some of the toughest times you'll have on that field when it's hot in July and you think, man, all these kids swimming at the pool and sleeping in, getting to do all these fun activities while I'm on the field busting my butt. I mean, it's difficult, but at the same time, it's some of the most fun you'll have and some of the best people you'll meet also.
Yeah. And it's something you'll have for the rest of your life.
Exactly.
I could speak to that.
Yeah.
It never goes away. It's a special thing. All sports are special, but there's something different
something about football. Yeah.
I know this senior year, at one point, you're looking at it coming up like, I'm never going to get there. I'm never going to get out of here. Then it hits, and, it goes so fast.
It does.
We're already talking about the last week of regular season football, and it seems like we got started. And it'll be another blink of the eye, and you'll be back down on that field walking to get your diploma as a graduate of Meade County. What's the next step for Braden after high school?
I plan on attending U of L and studying most likely business and getting a job with UPS because they pay tuition at U of L, and that's a good thing I think to do.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm sure your parents will appreciate
that.
Yeah,
definitely.
College and getting it cheaper.
Not cheap, no.
No, but that's a great program. So, we wish you the best of luck. this week, and we wish you the best luck in all you do. And thanks for coming by the show.
Thank you.
Take care.
You too.
And we will be right back. Hello, Green Wave Nation, and welcome back for another week of the Coach Larry Mofield Show. Coach, good to see you. You know, we've talked about this at the beginning of the season when we did the show, and we talked about it a few times during, and here we are. Yeah. We're final game of the season, regular season.
Yeah.
Where does it go?
It goes by fast. It's kind of like life, especially when you get our age. You know, things go by fast. You caution the kids every year that once that first scrimmage starts, you got about, I guess, 13 weeks counting your 2 scrimmages, your 10 regular season, and your guaranteed playoff game, and it goes by like that. And it's gone by fast this year, and nothing can prepare you. Nothing can prepare a player for that. You know that. We both played, and we've gone through that when the season ends at some point, and you try to caution the kids, hey, make the most out of this opportunity. And but at the end of the day, they're still kids, and if you could bottle that up and give them a magic potion, it probably wouldn't be what it is. You know, because it's just something about it. Some of them kind of get it, some of them don't. And we've challenged them to hopefully leave everything on the field, make the most of every moment, and hopefully they'll do that.
Yeah. Well, I guess before we look forward to this week, we'll look back real quick to the Manual game. I don't think anybody had any misconceptions that was going to be a team you just walked in and we're going to roll over. Probably one of the top teams in the state, if not the top team. What did you think about the game? Looking back on it,
Chad, they're the number 1 ranked team in 6A football, and like you said, it's they're outstanding. As a coaching staff this week, we talked about some of the monumental, I guess, for lack of a better term, teams that we've seen over the years that would compare to Manual. One of them was the North Hardin team several years ago that had Oxidine and Luntz and the Lovett kid, and there were multiple ones that the running back, I can't think of his name right now, I'm getting old, but they had four or five Division I kids on the team. It was similar to that team, but I knew they were going to be good. We were going to have to play a darn near perfect game, and that's hard to do. Now, you know, when the fans go there and people that maybe watch the game or listen to the game, they don't always see the things that we see. We had an opportunity there, and this wouldn't have won the game for us, but it's those momentum plays. We had a guy wide open on a pass that we had seen somebody else execute against them flawlessly, and we put it in, and it was a wide open, but we got pressure because we had a lapse up front on the offensive line, and the kid that made it is one of our best players, and I would wish I had 100 of him, you know. But sometimes it happens. We all make mistakes. I make mistakes coaching, and that, like I said, that one play did not cost us a game. But you know, you almost have to be darn near perfect. I thought we had, and I told our kids at halftime, I said, I don't know what the score is going to be at the end of the game, but let's try to win the second half. I thought we played better in the second half. Now, obviously, we didn't win the game. In the second half, probably the most disappointed thing is that last touchdown they scored, because I felt like, I don't want to use the term give up, but I felt like we let that one, we just let the guy run right up the middle, and we had probably 4, 5, 6 opportunities to tackle him. We didn't hit him. And, you know, we got to take, you know, and that's another, we didn't tackle very well. Again, even if we'd tackled great, would it have won the game? I don't know. We'd have a better chance we had getting beat 41-14. So there were plays in the game. We had some open receivers, and the reason we didn't hit those open receivers was multi-layers. I'm telling you, when you play offensive line, the people sitting in the stands, they don't know how hard it is to block Manuel, who's some of the best players in the state of Kentucky.
Yeah.
You know, number 19, number 18, number 44, you know. If it was easy, we'd all do it. You know, I think sometimes as spectators, we forget a little bit what it's like to be a young man out there. And I think our kids gave a great effort. I told our kids at halftime, I said, and I only heard a little bit of this during the game, but a little remark here or there about the offensive line blocking. I told our skill kids, I said, you want to trade places with them and go out there and try to block them, you know? But I think our kids are on the same page. Sometimes, and I warned our kids on Monday, sometimes it's the adults that drive wedges. They don't intentionally drive wedges, but by what they say at home, by what they say after the game about maybe other players, about coaches, you know, I don't care what people say about me. I've been doing this 35 years, and I get it. It comes with the territory. That's fine, you know, because there's no bigger critic on me than me, you know. But, you know, I told our kids, I said, we got to stick together. Yeah. We got to believe in each other. And just because somebody said the offensive line didn't block or the defensive line didn't do this or somebody didn't do that, you got to listen to us. You got to trust in us and believe in each other. And I think we will. And you know, we played the #1 team in the state, and there aren't any moral victories in anything. You know, we wanted to win the game, and we prepared to win the game. And I thought for the most part our kids competed pretty hard. I do think some of our kids kind of had a deer in headlight look a little bit, honestly. And I think as the game went on, they got out of that a little bit. But sometimes when you give up boom, boom, boom scores, it's hard. Manual's a good team. Manual's very capable of winning the state championship. But you even saw in the course of the game, they weren't perfect. I mean, they put a lot of snaps on the ground in the second half, you know. But I thought our kids competed. We're going to learn from it. Manual and St. X, two of the premier programs in the state of Kentucky, and we played them, and we didn't back down. When we got put in this district several years ago, we had two choices: to run away or run into it. We ran into it, and it didn't go the way we wanted to. And nobody's happy about that, but kids bounce back. They bounce back this week. They've had a good week of preparation, and it doesn't get a whole lot easier tonight, you know, or tomorrow night. So,
well, they'll bring us to, you know, we're going up to Bullitt East. It'll be the final game of the season. We're going to the playoffs, but it's always good to finish on a high note going into the playoffs. But, you know, Bullitt East is traditional, had good teams the last few years.
Won a state championship a few years ago.
Yeah. And it looked like they've had some challenges the second half of the season, kind of like us.
Well, but, they're in a tough spot. It's hard to get somebody to play you because they're good. Yeah. They've done a good job. Their administration up there, I got a little history know a little history about Bullitt East because a couple of guys I know, one I consider a friend, the other guy I knew was a former football coach. At one time they had two football coaches as a head principal and assistant principal. Now, it doesn't mean they slanted everything toward football, but I tell you what they did. Not only are they good academically, they're good athletically in multiple things. Mm-hmm. Just because I said they're football coaches doesn't mean they're. But what they do is they put a lot of emphasis on everything. I mean, you look up and down, they got some strong sports programs. Now, they do benefit from being able to get some kids in Bullitt County from the other two schools. They also benefit from people wanting to run out of Jefferson County over into Bullitt County. So, but with that all being said, they've done an outstanding job. They had a former coach at Bull County, Chris Mason, who was their principal. And a few years ago, I look across the field and I see this big fellow just screaming and wearing out their offensive line. Well, it was their principal, you know. But that's just, you know, it's important. You know, it's important to that. It's a culture kind of thing that they've developed. And but anyway, they're good. We'll have our hands full. They got a beautiful new facility up there, a beautiful field, beautiful bleachers. It's senior night. It's the last game. Both teams are 5-4. They're going to be well prepared, and hopefully we'll be well prepared. I feel like we are, and we're going to have to come out and compete. And last year, I felt like I was really disappointed last year in how we finished the regular season. I don't think we played our best against them. Would we have won the game? I don't know. But we gave ourselves absolutely no chance of winning the game by how we played. Some people will say, well, Coach, you went in there undermanned. We had enough people to be able to be successful in the game, and we didn't do it. We didn't execute very well. So I hope tomorrow night that we execute a heck of a lot better than we did in last year's regular season finale. We are, obviously we're healthier than we were last year, but you still got to go make plays, and you got to be focused. And what I find this time of year, Chad, is interesting. There's kids that want to go as far as you can, and there's kids that you think may ready to be packing in. Now, I don't see a lot of kids on our team ready to pack it in. And what I mean by that is they really don't care when it's over. But there's some kids that, want to grind it out and they want to go as far as you can. So I told our kids last week, and I'll tell them again this week, you juniors, fight your butt off for those seniors. You sophomores, you fight your butt off for those, because they're going to be in those positions one day. And when this year's juniors or seniors next year, they'll want the juniors to fight for them and the sophomores, because this thing's over. And, we don't have a lot of kids that are going to play college football now. I wish we had a bunch, but the reality of it is when it's over, some will go on, very few, but then the others are going to go on to, for careers and whatever they choose to do, which is great, because but it's a precious, fleeting moment to play a high school sport, and we hope they take full advantage of it. So yes, we'll have our hands full. It'll be a wild crowd. Those Bullitt East people, they really get behind football. The music's loud. It'll be a good environment. So fans, I hope you get up there early, get you something to eat. I'm sure they'll have good food, and hopefully you'll be entertained with a good football game, and hopefully we can find a way to come out on top.
Because it's 7:30.
It's 7:30. Yes.
Yeah.
7:30 kickoff, and I think the weather's supposed to be nice. It's going to probably be more like football weather. I think it's probably going to be in the mid 50s, low 50s, and so it should be a good night for high school football, and it's kind of what it's supposed to be this time of year. So the rain's not going to be any rain. It's going to move out of the area, so we should be in good shape. We've been really blessed, Chad. We've played on, I think, we've been on turf all year except for one game. When I sent our uniforms to the cleaners on Saturday morning, I don't know what they're going to come back like. I hadn't picked them up yet, but they were brown and red from that M in the middle of the field. That's the first grass field we've played on all year. So who knows what they'll look like for tomorrow night's game. They may be dingy, but hopefully they can get them back white somehow.
A little different than it used to be with all the turf.
Right. Yeah, it's amazing. Everybody's. I mean, it's a phenomenal, and even Manual Stadium's going to get it next year. I mean, it's eventually going to take over everywhere. I think there's not enough research out there to say it's more dangerous, it's a hazard. Honestly, things can happen anywhere in life, but I think it's a cost saver. It's you never have to worry about the conditions. So we've really been blessed here in Meade County, and a lot of those schools in Jefferson County are going to follow suit and get it too.
Yeah, and I don't want to get out in front of where we're at, because the focus is on Bullitt East tomorrow night and finishing up strong. Right. But just for the sake of those watching, it has came out who our matchup will be in the first round of the playoffs. Yeah. So maybe just talk a little bit about
good.
that.
No, I think it's good. It gives people maybe a chance to make plans. It's Great Crossings High School. They're obviously a 6A school. They're in Scott County. It's a new school. About, I don't know, maybe it's 5 or 6 years old. It could be older. Time flies and I forget. So, but they've got an outstanding program, outstanding facilities. So we have to go there. If you look at it on Google, it's about an hour and 40 minutes. I think that's probably by car. Obviously, bus is going to take us a little longer. I'm lobbying right now. I don't know. I have not gotten a final word back from their AD or their coach. We're lobbying to move the game to 8 o'clock our time instead of 7:30. That way we can't get a bus until 4 o'clock. And so, schools will typically work with us, and I think they will. Shoot, we're going there, so we're the ones that's going to get back 30 minutes later, which is no big deal. I mean, 30 minutes of my life's not going to be. I'm not going to. Split hairs over that. But I think they're going to change it. I've lobbied for them to change it, and hopefully, I don't know right now. If I knew 100% right now, but they can't start the game till we get there. So most of the time they do it. 100% of the time they usually. Yeah. But I haven't gotten an official word back yet. But we'll play Great Crossings, and at that point, it's do or die.
Yeah.
And you got to do, or you're not going to be doing anymore. So we'll see. So that's like we talked about earlier. It's a fleeting time in your life, and hopefully it's exciting, especially if you're a competitor. You kind of live for these type things. If you're not a competitor and you want to do something else, you probably won't. So hopefully we don't have too many of those guys on our team that are ready to pack it in. So
well. Glad we got that out there, so everybody can. But like I said, the focus is obviously on Bullitt East tomorrow, and for everybody, the final game of the regular season, get up there and cheer on our Green Wave so we can finish up strong and so we can roll into playoffs with head of steam. But, Coach, we appreciate it. And we wish
I've
you
enjoyed it, Chad. Thanks,
best of luck,
thanks for all this.
Friday.
We'll come back and do it again next week.
Absolutely.
Hopefully that's not our last one.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Hopefully we still got several more weeks.
Right.
But we'll see. And Greenway Nation, we'll see you again next week, or if not, up at the game tomorrow night.